Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today what I want to do is explain in a short way exactly what Lyrique is and what it's about. Basically it's this, is that you have a group of people who wanted these very high quality Swiss watches. They valued those. And the problem is that the top watches have to be done in fairly limited editions because they take a long time to make, the various kinds of things and movements and so forth. And so they only produce a few. And in order to stay in business, they have to raise the prices. Now, the alternative is to, in terms of the economy of scale, is to produce a whole lot, and the focus is on the number of production as opposed to sort of the craftsmanship that would go into some of the watches that are your top watches in terms of their what it takes to make them. And so Lyrique was developed specifically for a segment of the watch buying market that valued such watches but couldn't afford them. Basically what it is. And the idea was that, well, if we pooled our resources and we dealt directly with the watchmakers instead of, going down to the store and sort of normally buy it online, it wasn't that we had anything against that. We couldn't afford it. As simple as that, because these other companies have a lot of other expenses besides just making the watches and just the watchmaking itself. And so we dealt with the top watchmakers, and this included those who made the movement, those who make the cases, the dials, the hands, the buckles, the straps, everything. And in addition, a top-notch watch designer, a Swiss watch designer. And so while most of the watch companies have to include in the price, to stay in business, by the way, they need advertising, they need marketing, they need warehousing, they need a retail markup. These are among other costs they have to sell the watches and make a profit. And by only paying for the fundamentals, this is what Lyrique has done to build a really top-notch watch. And managing the funding of it and managing the coordination and communication with the different participants in the project, and each individual project, we were able to make a very high quality watch without compromising quality, and we could do it as something we could afford. Now, by affordability, I'm not talking about a cheap watch, because it's not that at all, but rather one, the watches that are, easily, some of the top watches are north of 50,000 Swiss francs or $50,000. And that's a lot. And most watch collectors and I guess you'd watch lovers, for lack of a better term, couldn't afford that, but they do appreciate the high quality. All right, and so that was going to be the trick, was how can we produce these really high quality watches? And so we were able to do it. The first watch we did was we called it the Etude 1, and it's hand wound with a bespoke movement by a top movement maker, and every other part of it was by those who made the very best cases, Vuitton and Kalin, the very best dials with Metallim, the very best hands with Fiedler, all of these really great watchmakers who made either some part individually or some other aspect of it. Now, so what is this to the Swiss fine watchmaking? This is something that's like Well, we're not sort of asking for any kind of gift, that's for sure. But we had to do it in order to bring in an entirely new market. There was a market that existed among watch lovers, those who really appreciated fine watchmaking but couldn't afford it. So now we found a way to bring them to the fine watches, to put them together. Now we're we're limited the same way that fine watchmakers are limited in terms of the amount of time, the quality, and so on and so forth that it takes to make a watch of this nature. And so what we do is that we're supporting a level of watchmaking that can be overlooked because of the lack of a market and the high cost. Now, so we did this. Now, we spent a lot of money, all right, but there's been enough of us so that we could split it between us. By the time we're finished with our second watch, which is called Etude number 2, we'll have spent over $1.5 million Swiss francs in Swiss watches, in Swiss watchmaking. So it's something I think that's important to understand, that not only do we feel that we've served a market of watch buyers, but we've also served an important segment of Swiss watchmaking. This little video will tell you a little more about it. Well, that's Lyrique. This is what we do. We love watches and watchmaking, and wanted to let the Swiss watch business know how much we appreciate them, and also watch collectors too. Take care. This is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection, and this is an opportunity to subscribe if you'd like.